I ghost everyone else, but no one more than myself. Welcome back to Self Recentered. I'm your host, Anya, and this episode is for anyone who's feeling or who has felt a little off, a little disconnected, a little MIA from your own life. Let's get out of autopilot and in tune with ourselves. Before we dive in, let's take a breath together. Inhale and exhale. Settle into this moment and anchor with today's affirmation. I am learning to show up for myself, even when it's hard, even when it's messy. Speaking of messy, this episode almost didn't happen. Not because I don't care. I care a lot, sometimes a bit too much. It almost didn't happen because I was in a bad headspace. My mind was loud, my energy was low, and everything felt like too much. Earlier today, I was reading through a journal entry of mine, and one line stopped me in my tracks. I ghost everyone else, but no one more than myself. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We usually talk about ghosting in the context of dating or flaky friendships. But what about when we do it to ourselves? What about when you cancel your own plans, break your own promises, shut down instead of tuning in, abandon your body, your boundaries, your voice, and pretend that everything is fine? That's ghosting yourself. And it's way more common than we'd like to admit, especially for those of us who learned early on how to be everything for everyone else. We survived by performing, pleasing, and constantly giving, even when it cost us our sense of self. We learned to shrink, to silence, to shapeshift. We became so good at being there for others, we forgot how to be there for ourselves. Ghosting yourself can sound like, I'll start tomorrow. I'll rest when I finish everything. It doesn't really matter that much. It can look like skipping meals or sleep, abandoning your routines, forgetting to drink water, staying in bed all day, or scrolling mindlessly for hours on your phone. Knowing what would probably nourish you and still choosing what numbs you instead. And the longer you do it, the harder it becomes to break out of that habit and to learn to trust yourself again, to recognize yourself, to feel like yourself. You start to feel lost, overwhelmed, depleted. How can you build anything? A habit, a relationship, a life, if you keep abandoning the foundation? This week, I decided to stop the noise. I completely threw out my to-do list and gave myself just one priority. My mission is to feel good and stop ghosting myself. No more deadlines, no more pressure, just presence. But let me clarify. When I say feel good, I don't mean instant gratification. I don't mean binge watching or stress eating or numbing out on social media. I mean choosing the things that feel good now and later, things that don't come with guilt, things your future self will thank you for, but also things that don't feel like too much in the moment when you are already overstimulated. Because when you're already overwhelmed, that's not the time to push harder. It's the time to be gentler. If pushing, and being hard on yourself worked, it would have worked by now. So give yourself some grace and meet yourself where you are. You don't have to go out and run 2 miles, but maybe you can take a walk for 20 minutes. Later, when you have more capacity, that's when you can stretch and expand. That's when you go harder. But when you are in the midst of everything, that's not when you need more discipline. That's when you need more compassion. Because while discipline is important, it needs to be rooted in love. So there's a balanced way to go about pushing yourself. When I started to feel overwhelmed, I asked myself, what do I need right now? What's one thing I can do to feel good now and later? What's one small way I can show up for myself today? I took a walk, listened to music, felt the sun on my skin, took some deep cleansing breaths, not because I had to, not because it was on my never ending to do list, but because I genuinely wanted to feel good again, like myself again. Showing up for yourself doesn't have to be expensive or performative. You don't have to go out and get your nails done or take a 3 hour bubble bath and then post a picture on Instagram. You just need to give yourself some undivided attention. One of my favorite ways to show up for myself every day is journaling. I've been journaling for over 10 years now. Today, as I was journaling, this poured out of me. I wasn't planning to share it, but it ties into today's topic. And I want to be able to be a bit raw and vulnerable with you to let you know that I'm human too. I go through the same struggles. Even though I've come a long way, I still am on the journey right there with you. So here goes. I don't know if I've even reached the tip of the iceberg of knowing myself. What the fuck have I been doing this whole time? Surviving, moving, performing? I think my purpose is tied up in this new project, self recentered. I know I need to put myself at the center, to love and care for my inner child. That's the answer to all my questions. Instead, I've been ghosting myself, suppressing my emotions, ignoring my needs, chasing validation. I was living to please everyone around me, so no wonder I always felt like I was missing the mark. Of course, I'm avoidant. Of course, I'm a flight risk. I ghost everyone else, but no one more than myself. That hit me so hard. I had to just sit with it. And maybe it resonates with you too. I just want you to know that even at your lowest, you are still worthy and you are never alone. I'm working on a whole episode soon on what it really means to just show up for your goals, your people, your purpose. But the truth is, you can't show up for your future if you're ghosting yourself in the present. You can't be there for anyone else if you've already abandoned yourself. Before we can talk about showing up, we need to talk about staying present, staying committed, staying connected, first and foremost, with yourself. That's where it all begins, at the intersection of compassion and discipline. So I invite you to take at least 20 minutes today just for you. Treat it like a non negotiable appointment because it is. And in those 20 minutes, you can do anything that you want that will make you feel good now and later. If you need some ideas, you can go for a walk, stretch your body, journal, make a delicious and nourishing meal, listen to a song you love, dance like no one's watching, cry like no one's listening, breathe deeply. The point is to do something that feels like you coming back home to you. Please do me a favor and don't ghost yourself. Not today, not again. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for showing up. If this episode resonated with you, feel free to share it or send me a note. My email is always in the show notes. And if you are looking to go a bit deeper, you can apply to work with me one-on-one. I would love to help you recenter and rebuild from the inside out. Be gentle with yourself, and you can always return here, back to yourself. I will see you in the next one.